famous Iraqi rabbi. His name was Rabbi Abdallah Hanin Z'tl, a very great rabbi of his time. In fact, I'm not too sure the exact date when he was born, but I believe he passed away around August in the year 1859 it was. He was a very, very great rabbi, a rabbi we've mentioned about on various occasions before, and someone I recommend everyone to actually look into. There's a lot actually within regards to him, especially on the internet and chronicled in other places. His Hilula is Yud Dalet Av. He passed away 1859. As we stated on the onset over here. It's very interesting. He was one of the great, let's say, poets, of great singers, great songwriters of Iraq, without doubt, in Jewish history, which is something notable, which we can definitely say about him here on the onset. Very, very great rabbi. Now, he was born in an area in Iraq called Katsir, I believe he was born in Baghdad. He was, I believe, a Talmid of another great rabbi, of Rabbi Eliyahu Yoshua Ovadia. Very great rabbi. He worked himself, I think, as a dayan, a judge in Baghdad, and was one of the signatures within regards to various pasek dins, especially to do with the topic within regards to the famous Gvir, Yaakov ben Semach, which was very much spoken about. So I recommend everyone to look into that topic over here. Okay, so I think he would actually write, more than 100 songs and poems. He would write as many as that, which is an absolutely phenomenal amount. I think some of them, 13 of them, were printed in various different books, especially very popular Pizmonim, which especially in Baghdad, in Iraq, and in Hodu in India. Some of the Piyutim was the customs, let's say, of the Babylonian community, which was sung on the Shabbatot, on Chagim, on let's just say special occasions, various different special occasions also. I think there was a man named Avram ben Yaakov, who happened to be a famous historian, a sofer, and an educator, an investigator within regards to the Jewish community of Babel, would print 30 of these. I think 17 of them, if I'm not mistaken, also was a key feature. This Avram, hopefully we're going to speak about Avram ben Yaakov. He was a famous, let's say, historian, lived between 1914 to the year 2005. Someone that really was, I think, not just from respectively from Iraq, really made his imprint in various different places, and that will be great to actually investigate with him in a special video, hopefully at one stage in time. He was also a bibliographer. He happened to have been, and very much a huge integral part in, let's just say, in Jewish history, recent Jewish history, with regards to investigating. Okay, now it's actually his standout piyut, a song, let's say, he wrote, I think, to do with Shabbat, called the Ozi Elecha Ashmura. This is a very, very popular one, well-known one. Now, it's actually interesting. Rabbi Yosef Chaim Baghdad, also popularly known as Ben Ish Chai, wrote a piyut based on this specific piyut. Also, he wrote other piyutim, let's say, in the honor of various different people, especially within regards to Rabbi Raphael Katzin, for example, was a great rabbi, lived between 1790 to 1871, with great posek halachas and philosophers of his time, which we mentioned on various occasions before. One of the great rabbis also that had a huge portion in Arum Tzava in Syria, and also among Babylonian Jewry. Also another one, the famous Gvir, David Sasson, is another famous Jewish person that really was, he was like the treasurer, I think, of the Baghdad Jewish community between the 8 years 1817 to 1829, and had huge roles within regards to Iraqi Jewry. David Sasson, hopefully we'll do a video within regards to him also. He would write a very small piyutim. I think something that was Katav et hapiyut hacharut al matzavot shel shir Yitzchak Gaon. The famous man Yitzchak Gaon, he would actually he would have engraved his song, let's just say, on his kever, and various other, let's say, of his piyutim were engraved on various other people in the, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or even around the place of Yechezkel Haravi, his kever, if I'm not mistaken. He would write various different books, which was, I think some of them would have remained in, let's say, manuscript form, if I'm not mistaken. It's quoted like various books, the Kesef Tzoref, Rabbi Yosef ben Yosef, and various, I think especially the book, the Pri-Etz Hadar, I think something that was a tikkun, which done on Tisha B'Av. Also Shir Hashim and the Medrash V'Targum. these are there. I can actually see a manuscript of his writing, the Shir Hashirim, which included translations and midrashim, which I think very much featured in Baghdad in the Tafkuf Pei Chet also. Now it's reported that he passed away on the 14th of Av in the year Heitav Reish Yud Tet. That would have been, I think, around the year 1859. We're talking about more than 165 years ago here from time of recording. I think, if I'm not mistaken, many people were. He was well known also in Bombay at that point in time. There was an Iraqi community that went to India to places like Bombay, and so on and so forth. And I think he had the integral part with regards to famous Midrash Bedzilka memoriams over there, and so on and so forth. I think his son was Rav Salman Chazan. I think it's Rav Salman. He happened to be the Chazan of the synagogue, which was quite close, the kever, the burial plot of Yitzhak Gaon. And it's actually interesting. I think the descendants ended up becoming also famous Rabbi Nisim Kadrei Chazan, who lived between the years 1891 to 1972, a very famous rabbi. Hopefully we will speak about also at another stage. We very much hope to speak about. So he was a great rabbi, Rabbi Abdallah Hanin, famous rabbi of his time, and I recommend more everyone to research more within regards to him. I think he's got a catalogue of his writings and his poets and the shirim, which is very much featured, I think, in the National Library of Israel and the Otzah Chochmah. And there's various of his, there was a project of Ben Yehuda also, we have to point out. If you go on the benyehuda.org website, you actually see some of the piyutim, actually, which was featured within regards to various of the great rabbis of Babel, especially, including the Uzi Elecha, Ose Pele, Idut Hashem, Oz Lelokim, Amku Machshavot, Alei Ayin, Alei Asor, Olatza Tamid, Alatz Libi, so on and so forth. Many, many different great piyutim. Alma, Porach Tifrach, Atara Paz, Anu Lakel, Atara Paz Lerosh, Al Zion, many, many different piyutim of Abdallah Hanin, which I would recommend everyone to actually look on. There's a benyehuda.org website over here. He's one of the chapters over there on that specific website over here will actually very, very much feature the great rabbi over there. So I recommend everyone to learn more within regards to him. He was a famous rabbi of his time, Rabbi Abdallah Hanin. There's much more that can actually be featured within regards to that. I would recommend everyone to look at the National Library also. It very much features different writings of his over there, and you can find it on the Otzah Torah network. Remember, many of the famous poets we've spoken about, especially from Iraq. It was a golden age of poetry, of songs. Many of the rabbis like to keep their kehilot and saying not just with purity, also with riddles, especially Ben Ish Chai. Hacham Yosef Chaim was very famous within regards to that, and many of the other great rabbis of that specific vicinity over there. So please, everyone, learn more about him and more about the great rabbis of yesteryear. Please, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. If you descend from any of the rabbis we are speaking about, please let me know. I would love to hear more information. If you feel anyone's interested in watching any of these videos, please share these videos also with other people also. And so that will, if you haven't personally subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and help the channel grow. That's the best way of doing it. By the way, he passed away, just to add one more thing, in the year 1859. The Midrash Bedzilka was a place that was already thriving at an earlier stage there, and he was really part of it in the early years. Remember, the famous Midrash Bedzilka was actually instituted by famous Rabbi Abdallah Somech, which was probably like to say the first Kiruv Yeshivot in Israel. It was there was famous Rabbi Moshe Kabadza, who was over there. There was famous nobleman of Baghdad that would actually help build it. I think it was actually called initially the Midrash Abu Menashe, if I'm not mistaken, Menashe. And I think the nickname of Midrash Bedzilka actually came from the famous Yechezkel Anabi. That's why it's called Abu Menashe, respectively. I think there was, inside Midrash Bedzilka, there was a Talmud Torah school over there called Midrash Talmud Torah. And Rabbi Abdallah Somech was a key component of it. And Rabbi Abdallah Hanin also, I believe, had a connection to it at that point in time. I think even by the year 1847, 60 students were educated there to serve as Rabbanim. That's how much of a great place this happened to be. And famous, let's just say, chroniclers will actually, and diary people would actually have traveled there and recorded the amazement of that specific place, let's just say, in of itself. But Rabbi Abdallah Hanin was definitely a great person of that time, and it was very common that great rabbis of that age would have the name Abdallah to it. It was very, very common. It wasn't just Rabbi Abdallah Hanin we're speaking about. There was obviously Rabbi Abdallah Smech. That was a famous rabbi of that specific era in of itself, and many other Abdallahs, which I recommend everyone to look at the history about. And it's great. Now, friends, we're not just recording here on this channel information about great, let's just say, rabbis. We're also covering Daf Yomi, daily pages of Gemara videos also on this channel, which is another exciting thing that we're doing. We're also, every single day, recording videos on the daily page of the Daf Yomi, the daily Talmud. We do a snippet. We like to go to different places. Another project we're working about on this channel is especially traveling different parts of the land of Israel. We're exploring it and enjoying it, trying to look at the biblical parts of Israel, of Eretz Israel, and trying to learn more within regards to that, most notably. Also on the channel, we do videos on the Parshat Shavua, the weekly Torah portion, and that's on the Rosh Chodesh. We look at current events that we are doing. We explore pretty much we're trying to explore and investigate on many of the great Oriental rabbis of yesteryear, Ottoman Empire rabbis, and one other exciting project that we're doing on this channel, which I have to share with all of you, is that we are recording with different inspirational Jewish personality every single day, different rabbi every day, or someone that is like an outstanding Jewish personality. We've had celebrities, religious figures, famous rabbis that would actually contribute to this series like a huge amount of wisdom. So that's why I recommend everyone subscribe to the channel and to be part of this amazing venture, and we're all going to grow and just see good things. So Be'ez Hashem, wishing you all well. Thanks everyone for watching. Click that subscribe button now and join the community now. And we're coming in tomorrow to Shabbat, Parashat Balak. We're in the middle of Sefer Bamidbar. So everyone absorb. If you haven't watched yet the Parsha video we did, we recorded a Parsha video also. So Shabbat Shalom on that note. Take care and subscribe now. Thanks everyone for watching, and I appreciate